In our devotionals this week, we will look at 5 instances where God appears to people. And today we're going to look at a very strange appearance that God made to Abraham in Genesis 15. I really believe this is going to strengthen your ability to believe that God will always keep his promises. The context for this appearance was the promise that God had made to bless Abraham and through his descendants to bless the whole world. But Abraham was old and childless. So Abraham says to God, "How do I know? Or how can I be sure?" So God says, "Here's what I want you to do. I want you to kill some animals, split them in half, and arrange the pieces in 2 rows with an aisle in between." Now, as moderns, that makes no sense. But it did to Abraham, because in the ancient Near East, when a great king wanted to make a covenant with a lesser king, they would split an animal in half, and the vassal or lesser party would walk between the carcasses while swearing an oath of loyalty to his sovereign. This was done to act out or visualize the curse that would come upon him if he should fail to keep the terms of the agreement. It was called a self-maledictory oath. And in essence, they were saying, if I don't keep my end of this agreement, may it be done to me as it is with these slain animals. So after Abraham arranged the animals on the ground, an incredible darkness came down. It was the darkness of judgment. And in the midst of the darkness, God appeared as a smoking, fiery pillar, and he passed through the pieces. And he did so making an oath to bless Abraham. What a shocking reversal of the standard procedure. Rather than having Abraham pass through the pieces, God does. God is telling Abraham that he can be trusted to keep his promise because he will die like a sacrificed animal if that's what it takes to fulfill his covenant with Abraham. And he was. Because centuries later, darkness came down again on Calvary. It was a thick darkness, and in the midst of that darkness, there was God in the person of Jesus Christ, nailed to a cross, where he was literally taking the covenant curse upon himself. Paul explains this in Galatians 3:13 when he says, "Christ redeemed us from the curse of the law by becoming a curse for us. For it is written, 'Cursed is everyone who is hung upon a tree,' so that in Christ Jesus the blessing of Abraham might come to the Gentiles." Every question about whether God is for us or against us, and whether or not he can be trusted, was settled once for all on the cross, where Jesus gave his life for you and for me.